Hello all, welcome to EC Electronics. So in today's video, we are going to see the must study topics for BARC Stiphendary Trainee Category 1 exam and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited Management Trainee exam. So the first exam going to happen is the HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited Management Trainee exam, that is going to happen on September 9th onwards. And a lot of people are preparing for the same. And the next one will be BARC Stiphendary Trainee Category 1. Talking about this BARC exam, there is only a written exam or an online test with questions from electronics subject. But for the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited exam, there are separate different sections in which there is aptitude, English, and also subject related questions. But for the BARC Stipendary Trainee Category 1, there is only an online test with questions fully concentrated on your subject knowledge. Okay. The questions will be only coming from your electronics subjects. So it is very important to know that which are the subjects you have to study and what are the important topics, especially for an end-time preparation. So we are going to discuss which are the important subjects you have to study. There is a must study subjects and also the topics from those subjects. Now talking about the exam syllabus, you have to cover all textbook. But when talking about an end-time preparation or when talking about an exam point of view study, you have to at least study these subjects and the respective topics that we will be discussing in this video. So please watch the video completely. I'll be discussing what are the areas, like what type of questions you can expect. All those things we'll be discussing throughout this video. Okay. So let us first see what are the important subjects you have to study. So the important subjects I have listed out here is totally 13 subjects I have listed out, but not everything you have to study from the subject. Some of the important topics is there based on the previous year questions generally seen in these type of competitive examinations. Okay. The first subject is Basic Electronics and Materials Science. It is a very base of electronics whole syllabus itself. So you have to anyhow study this subject, which is Basic Electronics and Material Science. What are the topics we'll be discussing later. Okay. First I'm discussing only the subject names. Second one is Digital Electronics. Again, a very, very important subject. Third is Analog Electronics or Analog Integrated Circuits. In the different years, they will change the name of this subject. And also for different universities, the same, the subject name is not the same. It will be different. Anyhow, it is Analog Electronics. Then Communication Systems. It includes both analog communication and digital communication. Then Network Analysis, very, very important subject. Electronic Instrumentation and Measurement, Computer Networks, Embedded Systems and Processors, Electromagnetic Theory, Antenna and Radar. So talking about these are three separate subjects, but you don't have to study everything from these subjects, but some topics are important. So I have clubbed these three together as Electromagnetic Theory or Electromagnetic Field Theory, Antenna and Radar. Then Semiconductor Theory and EDC. EDC is Electronic Devices and Circuits. Then VLSI Design, Control Systems and Signals and System. These three on the last, I have just included the name of the subject because you don't have to study into the details, only the basics or some understanding of the what are the topics you have to study in this subject, what are the basics, only that much is required. You don't have to go deep into it. Okay. So we can say that there are 10 very important subjects and 3 important other subjects which you have to study the basics. While I'm explaining the topics, you can see the details on the screen as well. Okay. So these are the 10 or the 13 subjects which I have included, which you have to cover for both BARC, whoever is preparing for BARC exam and also for HAL exam. Okay. Now, if you don't know about the BARC Stipendary Trainee Category 1, so the exam, there will be an exam and then afterwards, if you pass or crack the exam, you will be called for the interview. Exam is going to be a 40 question exam paper will be there. Each question will be carrying 3 marks and for every correct answer, you'll be getting 3 marks. And there is 1 mark deducted for the wrong answers. This is going to be the exam pattern or the mark division. Okay. Now let us see the important topics from the subjects we have seen. The first subject I have said is basic electronics and materials science. It is a very base of electronics whole, branch itself. We study about basic components in these subjects. There is the subject that we study in the first year of engineering or the first year of diploma, whatever you are studying. Anyway, it is the first subject we'll be studying. In that, we study active components and passive components. We study the basics of resistors, inductors, capacitors, their equations, characteristics, and everything. So these things you have to study. I have separately listed resistors, inductor, capacitor. All three are important, very, very important. At least you have to study this. Also, they will be studying about transistors, different type of transistor, FET, MOSFET, BJT. Everything you have to at least know what is the difference between these components and how it is structured. What are the terminals? These things at least you have to study. Also, I have included another area along with this subject, which is material science. For some branches of electronics, there is a separate subject called material science, in which we study about the materials that we use in electronics, like semiconductors, different type of semiconductors, their structure, properties, material properties, and everything. So you have to know about the material structures of at least some type of materials, the bond in that, their properties, and the process happening in the materials when the electron is transferring from valence band to conduction band, or change in energy, all those things. Okay, so this is the very basics of electronic subject. So you have to study at least this much from this area. You can also expect small problems connected with resistors or capacitors or inductors, or it can be with the equations of the materials. So you can expect these type of small problems also coming from this subject. Okay, so that is the first subject. Moving on to the next subject, which is a very important subject, and for most of the competitive examinations on electronics, maximum weightage will be given to this subject, which is digital electronics, or some, as I said, in some universities it is digital circuits. So the important areas you have to study from this subject is Boolean algebra simplification, writing of Boolean equations, various Boolean properties. Some set of equations or Boolean equations are there. You have to study it. Okay. Then simplification of Boolean expressions. Some expressions will be given, and from the given options you have to select which is the simplified version. So you have to apply some properties, Boolean properties, and you have to simplify the that equation. It can be De Morgan's law, it can be associative property or commutative property. Some property you have to apply and simplify it and find the result from the given options. Okay. Or it can be questions connected with logic gates. Various type of logic gates is there. AND gate, NOT gate, OR gate, NAND, NOR, XOR, XNOR. These type of gates are there. And various connections will be given. Like some circuit diagrams will be given based on the connections of this circuit. And it will result in a given equation, or it can be a given gate. Anyhow, you have to simplify it and find the result. That type of questions can come. Next is very, very important area. Number systems. Various type of number systems is there. Binary, decimal, octal, hexa, gray code, etc. So for these number systems, again, connected questions can be there. In from binary itself, there are various operations like binary addition, subtraction, like that. Okay, that is one's complement, two's complement. Different type of questions you can expect. Anyhow, a lot of questions will be there because it is very easy to solve this, but it is very easy to get confused also. So in competitive examinations, generally whoever set the question paper give many like maximum weightage for this subject. I don't know why, but it is a general trend seen in all type of competitive examinations. Also, there will be questions from MUX, DEMUX, encoder, decoder, gray converter, flip-flops. Different types of flip-flop is there. Various type of, it can be related with the truth table of the flip-flop or the properties of flip-flop. Likewise, flip-flops and latches. The difference is also very important. Adder, subtractor, counter, KMAP simplification. Some KMAP will be given and they will be asking the solution or the min term, max term related questions. All are very important. ADC, DAC, state machines, Mealy-Moore state machines. What is the difference between this? Or some small state machines will be given. You have to find what will be the answer or the output coming for the state machine, or which state machines is used to detect this given code. These type of questions will be asked in question papers. Okay, you can expect medium to easy level of questions. Not very difficult, but questions won't be much difficult, but can be confusing sometimes. Okay. Also, questions connected with memories, DRAM, SRAM, different type of memories are there. Even we have to study the basic structure of memory cells. So, questions connected with that can also come. Next one is analog electronics. Okay, so analog electronics is one subject from which maximum problems or numerical questions they like to ask, because a lot of areas or topics are there in which equations will come. So connecting to these equations, numerical questions can come from this subject. So analog electronics, what I have included is amplifiers, oscillators, transistor, multivibrator, Schmitt trigger. So from this can be either equations or mostly numerical problems. Okay, and also questions with the connected with the equations can directly come, or even theory questions can come. Okay, clipper and clamper, what generally the seen trend is, some circuit will be given and input waveform will be given. You have to find what is the output waveform. Okay, clipper, clamper related questions. Then wave shaping circuits also similar. Wave will be given, input wave will be given, and circuit will be given, and output you have to find. Or in reverse, output will be given, you have to find which circuit will give the resultant, that is the given output. Okay, then op-amp characteristics and problem. Op-amp is a very famous topic in all competitive examinations. For that matter, it is GATE or BARC or ISRO exams or whatever it is. Op-amps are a must study topic. It is a must study topic itself for the entire syllabus, because you can expect at least 1 or 2 or even 3 questions minimum coming from this area, because there are a lot of things to study from this topic. Op-amp characteristics, ideal op-amp characteristics, op-amp questions, equations, its connections, different type of connections of op-amp is there. Numerical questions are there. For example, like some voltages will be given to the inputs, you have to find the resultant voltage, like that. Or some resistors will be connected to the output or to the feedback or to the input. You have to find what will be the value of the resistor, or can be any circuit. Okay, so please don't skip op-amp. Then BJT, MOSFET, FET and filters. Again, you can expect numerical questions and theory questions, or even equations coming from these areas. BJT is a very, very important topic. You have to find the equations or study the equations of currents, voltage with minority carriers and majority carriers. Okay, so that is the subject analog electronics. Next one I have included is communication systems. You have to study AM, FM, PM basics, like how the system is working, and the problems. Problems means connected with the power and the wave equation. Okay, amplitude of the wave or the power equation, both are important. For example, in the case of AM, from AM itself, many equations are there for power of sidebands, for the main branch or the sideband. From AM itself, there is different equations you have to study, especially connected with the powers or amplitude of the wave. You have to know that what is the equation, and you have to find the, sometimes question can be what is the power of the carrier or power of sidebands. There are separate equations for finding the powers of all these. So study these equations and then try to solve questions from this area. Also, another important topic is modulation index. That is, sometimes power will be given, you have to find the modulation index. Why? Because there is equations connecting these terms. Power, modulation index, everything. Okay. So try to first write down those equations and then try to explore the problems. Now, in order to study any of this topic, whatever I am saying in this video, you don't have to go anywhere. There are a lot of videos in our channel itself. There are separate playlists. You can explore them, in which I am covering numerical questions, theories, formula revision videos, etc. So it will be definitely helpful. Then next topic is super heterodyne receiver. Again, a very famous topic in all competitive examinations. Mostly the question will be numerical, or even it can be theory related. Okay. Then TDMA, FDMA, CDMA concepts, I would say. I won't say any problems or anything, but concept of this TDMA, FDMA, CDMA, also ASK, PSK, FSK. Those are digital modulations. So I have included analog and digital modulation together. And power spectral density related questions, random variable, and also another subject is there, information theory and coding, where we study about codes, how coding is done, etc. Don't go deep into that subject, but just the basics, like what are the different type of codes. At least you can study those. Then error correction, also a topic coming in ITC. Okay. Now another two communication systems or subjects is there, which is satellite communication and optical communication. From optical communication, I would say it is questions connected with the refraction index or total internal reflection. Those concepts and its equations are very important. So study those. Then from satellite communication also, again, connection with the numerical equations, the power equation, the transmission distance, those connected equations are important. And the type of, for example, the layers of atmosphere or the types of satellites, those are important. Okay. Next topic is network analysis. So whenever you are seeing a question on network analysis, please, if it is confusing, don't try to solve it in the beginning. Keep it for the end time, because this network analysis questions can be time consuming, because they are mostly the difficult, highly difficult questions they'll put from network analysis. So sometimes the questions can be easy. So while solving within 5 to 10 seconds or within like 30 seconds, you can understand that whether the question is easy one or it is difficult one. If it is a difficult question, please leave it towards the end of the exam, because that is a lot of time consuming. Sometimes you have to write down the whole equation and then solve for multiple variables. Then only you will get the end result. So in that case, while attempting a competitive examination, don't waste that much time in the middle. Keep it for the end. Okay. Anyhow, network analysis is a subject from which maximum numerical questions they will put. So what all things you have to study is mostly all topics from the subject is important. And the very important ones are all the network theorems. You should know what are the network theorems, and you should know the equations of network theorem. For every network theorem, there is one equation, and connected with that equation, either they can ask direct equation or numerical questions. Also, the very famous topics from network analysis is KCL, KVL, Kirchhoff current law and voltage law, or you can say nodal analysis. Now, why these are used, or how these are used is generally for finding the values of either current in a branch or voltage in a branch, or finding the value of a resistor. For these type of things, we generally apply these equations. So what they generally give is, they won't say that you have to apply KCL or KVL. They will give you a circuit and they will ask you to find the value of unknown something. It can be current or voltage or some component value. So you have to apply either voltage law or current law or nodal analysis and solve it, and then you will get the value of the unknown. Okay. So that's why I said it is time consuming. So if it is very difficult one, don't try to solve in the beginning. Okay. Then analysis of order 1 and order 2 system, then resistor circuit related problems. Again, some questions will be there. Simply you have to solve. Majority of the questions will be from KCL, KVL. Some other questions will be also there. Sometimes you have to apply some other network theorem and you can easily solve it. So that's why I said knowing all the network theorems is important, and mainly the equations of every network theorem is very, very important. Okay. So that is a very famous or very important subject, which is network analysis. Next one is electronic instrumentation and measurements. So this subject is very important for all the diploma-based exams, especially talking about this ISRO, technical assistant, or this type of BARC exams. This is very important because here we deal or study about the instruments that we use in electronics, especially in the labs, and how to take the measurements with those instruments, and the characteristics of those instruments. Okay, so that all things you have to study. What you have to study is resistor problems, capacitor problems, inductor problems. So first thing you have to do is just take a paper, write down the equations. Now, if you don't know where to search these equations, one more time I'm saying, there is separate videos in the channel for equations, that is formula revision videos. You have to search for formula revision videos in YouTube, or just go to our playlist. You will get formula revision videos on electronic instruments and measurements. Directly all formulas you will get. You don't have to go to any other place. Okay. So the questions, the problems will be from resistors or capacitor or inductor, because there is separate equations for them. Tolerance related questions can come, or error related questions can come. You have to study the CARA equations and properties of these instruments and all the instruments in electronic instrument and measurement. PMMC basics, transducers, CRO, DSO. CRO's structure is very important. What all things are there, how the CRO is working. Working of CRO itself is very important. DSO, I won't stress that much, but CRO is most important. Ammeter, voltmeter related problems, single phase, three phase energy meters, RTD, thermocouple, strain gauge, LVDT. At least try to study these many instruments. If you are not able to study all the instruments, there are also other instruments called Megger, various other instruments are there, like numerous instruments are there. If you are not able to study all those, try to study at least this much. And if you are not able to study any of those, if you are not getting any time to prepare, there are MCQ questions or MCQ question videos on this subject, that is electronic instrument and measurements subject, in our channel. Try to watch those videos, that is MCQ questions on this specific subject. You can get a good understanding. So while explaining every question, I have gone into the basics also. So you will get a good preparation. Okay. So that is our sixth subject. Seventh subject is computer networks. You have to only study theory topics from this. There is no numerical questions, no equations, I would say. Computer networks, all the networks are important. LAN, MAN, WAN, WLAN. Also the models, TCP/IP model, OSI model, different layers of the model. These are important. Then IP protocols, congestion control. These are the topics I have included. Next one is again a theory kind of subject, which is embedded systems and processors. So embedded systems is one topic. Embedded processors is another topic. Mainly the processor or microcontroller, both are important. I have included 8051 and 8085 microcontroller and microprocessor. From these topics, you have to study the registers. What are the registers present? The important registers. Every register has one bit, number of bits, and which are the bits and what is the function of the bits. Try to study at least those. And some special function registers are there. You have to know the importance of these registers, how it help in the working of the microcontroller or microprocessor properly. What are the importance of various bits in those registers? Try to study. Then embedded systems and concepts. Then memory of the embedded systems, and also about these processors, you have to study the memory structure. Interrupts, interrupt management, and DMA. DMA is a very famous topic. It is very important also. What is DMA? What is the importance of DMA? Study this. Next set of subjects I have included is EMT, that is electromagnetic theory, antenna, and radar. So in these three, or you can say as a single area, both theory questions and problems can come. Now, talking about the first one, which is electromagnetic theory, the most important thing is wave properties, types of waves, waveguides, etc. Also, transmission lines is a very major area in this subject. You have to study the numerical questions, the characteristic impedance, intrinsic impedance related problems, reflection coefficient, VSWR. Okay. These topics are very important because you have to sometimes find numerical, that is, you can sometimes find numerical questions also coming from this area. So problems also I have included. Then Klystron TWT, etc. Talking about antennas equations are important, and also antenna types. So for both these, there is separate two videos in our channel. You can find it. Just Google about, just search in YouTube, antenna types, EC electronics, you will be getting. Okay. The next one is radar. Radar types, radar range equation, Doppler effect equation, also pulse width, pulse frequency rate. These are important questions coming from radar. So the most important topic from radar is radar range equation. From this radar range equation, you can expect numerical questions. Okay. Again, different type of radars is there. Try to also cover it. If you don't know where to search this, again, videos are there for radar complete preparation, radar types, numerical questions. I have made separate videos. Okay. So you can just Google about, or you can YouTube, in YouTube you can find. The last subject I am going to explain the topics is Semiconductor Theory and EDC. So EDC is Electronic Devices and Circuits. From semiconductor types, you have to study the characteristics of semiconductor, intrinsic, extrinsic semiconductors, its connection, the bonding, what is the difference, etc. Also N-type, P-type semiconductor, which are the elements used, what is the number of free electrons, everything is important. Tunnel diodes, ZENER diodes. ZENER diode is a very important topic. Just like as I said about op-amp, ZENER diode is another very favorite topic of all the persons who's setting the question papers. So ZENER diode is a must-study topic. Okay, half wave, full wave, rectifier, ripple factor. The ripple factor equation itself is important. Okay, also power and voltage problems. So these are the important topics I have included from these 10 subjects. Apart from this, as I said in the beginning, there are 3 other subjects which you have to study only the basics. For example, first one is VLSI design. From VLSI design, we know how to prepare the silicon wafer. Various stages of preparation is there. Just at least study the stages of preparation. What are the various stages? For example, ion implantation, purification, these things. Okay. Just study what is happening in each stage. Just read it one time. That is important. That much is enough. Then control system. From control system, actually you can study about different type of control system, positive feedback, negative feedback. Then if you go deep down into it, a lot of things is there, but you don't have to study that much. But at least try to study the different these type of feedbacks, positive feedback. What is the difference between negative feedback, positive feedback? Then various type of compensators is there. So just basics is important from control system. Same with signals and systems. Different type of signals is there. What is the difference between one signal and another signal? How is the shape? Those things is enough. Okay. So these are the 13 important subjects I have included for the BARC Stiphendary Trainee and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited examinations. If you are going for an end-time preparation, there is actually a lot to study because the video itself is a little bit lengthy. So start your preparations now. Try to make notes because it is very useful for the night before exam. You can just go through it. So try to make formula books for your preparations. It will be useful for your lifetime, for whichever exam you are preparing. Not only this, if for some other exam, if you are preparing in future, you don't have to make it again. You can keep it safe and you can use it for the next exam because these equations are going to be the same. So I definitely think that you found the video useful. A lot of people was asking for the same. So please try to find these equations, start your preparations. Try to see the videos that are in our channel. All these topics, whatever topics I have explained, all the topics are there as separate formula revision videos. Separate MCQ videos are there where you will get different questions. Directly questions you will be getting. You can solve along with me and you can find the solution, and you can study also like how the equation is coming, what is the equation, how to solve it. Everything I have explained. So please make use of those videos and please start your preparations. I'm really hoping that you found the video useful. If yes, please like the video. Thanks for watching. Keep on watching.